Hello dear viewer, Murdoch X here. Today we're going to talk about bad games on the PlayStation 2. There's a lot of them, and bad games can be bad for different reasons. For example, there's Barbie as the Island Princess. This is just a bad set of minigames that took like no time to make, and it's not fun. Then there's the games that are broken. Games like High Roller Casino. If you're gonna make a casino game, I feel like you should be able to understand the rules of blackjack first. They can't even get their poker stuff right, let alone like their buggy 3D animations. And you've got games like Muppets Party Cruise. This is also kind of broken. A lot of the stuff just doesn't work right. And then there's games that are just terrible because of their potential. Unlimited Saga is probably my least favorite game on the PlayStation 2 in that aspect, and that's because the games before this were really good, and then this game is just not. It's not at all like them. It's just a shell of what could have been. But today, we're going to talk about what I consider an overall general least favorite PlayStation 2 game, Pryzm, Chapter 1, The Dark Unicorn. I recently realized that I'm only reviewing games that I like, which makes sense because I tend to play games that I enjoy, but there is one game out there that just gets under my skin, and that is Pryzm, Chapter 1, The Dark Unicorn. Spoilers, there is no Chapter 2. So let's travel back to 2002 when Nelly was letting us know how hot it was in here, and we tried to decide if the Resident Evil movie was good or not. Now, there are exactly two things that I think are good about Pryzm. They hired 3 professional voice actors who did a great job, and there's a neat little comic book that's part of the instruction manual. I have nothing else nice to say about this fun-sucking pile of poo. Let's start by talking about the development company behind this game. Formerly known as Digital Illusions, they are now known as EA Dice. This team has been involved in games like Mirror's Edge, a bunch of the Battlefield games, and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Whatever, let's just get into the plot. The comic book part of the manual gives the background of what happened in the past. Brief version, a dark unicorn got mad and started a plague because the other unicorns wouldn't transport him through the, and I quote, exalted portal to the vortex of supreme magic. Yeah, I don't know, he wanted to do that to stop war and death or something, but instead decided to cause war and death? I don't get it, it's dumb. It's a dumb story for a dumb game. How do they mess up a troll riding a unicorn into battle? That sounds like it would be awesome. I don't expect much from video game storylines, but some angsty dark unicorn just doesn't do it for me, I guess. On to the gameplay. As Karok the Troll, you ride Pryzm the Unicorn around unpoisoning creatures and trying to heal the land. Temporarily. You don't defeat enemies, you just uncurse them for a bit. You get some stupid attacks, a dumb wizard radar, and some ugly stages to explore. Woo! The game begins with a tutorial that is pretty straightforward and makes you feel like you're about to enter a game that is fun and deep. Honestly, there probably is some depth to the combat in this game, but I'm not patient enough to delve into it because it's confusing. When attacking enemies in these flower things, I can't tell what's working and what isn't. It seems like if I just blast things with all of the spells, they eventually turn into their good forms. Goodifying these flower things creates a patch of grassy land where the enemies will stop turning evil and your health and mana are restored. You'll use these grassy areas as a sort of healing spot that you'll come back to when your health and or mana run low. Quick note, I hope I'm not making this game sound fun. Please don't buy this unless you're trying to get a complete PlayStation 2 collection like I am. Running around on a unicorn means you get horse controls. Unicorns don't have a tight turning radius, it turns out, which is super fun when you get a stage that's on a miniature islands with tiny little bridges. Why? Why did you think this was a good idea, Dice? Oh, and the ground outside of the islands causes damage, sort of. It does cause damage, but not in a way that I can make sense of. If falling into poisonous, dirt isn't your jam, there are dark cave stages that are nearly impossible to maneuver. All of the stages are ugly, but add getting lost in caves to this bundle of frustrations. I mentioned that the bad guys can only be temporarily defeated, but the biggest issue is that there's no clear way to tell if your attacks are doing anything. Should we be using the staff attack? Does the freeze spell even do damage? That missile spell seems to go through the enemies sometimes, and the lock-on feature only kind of works. There's different spells depending on what stage you're in? What? This is a giant confusing mess. So let's go ahead and do one of those breakdown things. The good, voice acting in an 8-page comic. The bad, everything about the gameplay. The nicest thing I can say about this game is that it's not riddled with glitches, which is why it gets a 1 out of 10. This is almost ET for Atari bad. So there it is, my least favorite game for the PlayStation 2 right now. I've only played about 20% of the games available for the PS2 here in the States. There's a good chance that I'll find something worse. There are some other truly bad games out there. For example, my wife really hates Let's Ride Silver Buckle Stables. Seriously though, please use the comment section to let me know what the worst games are. I still haven't played Fight Club. I hear that one is pretty bad, so comment, let me know. We'll get through this garbage fire together. So that, dear viewer, is Pryzm the Dark Unicorn, my least favorite game for PlayStation 2 in general. There are other games that are terrible because they're broken, games like Driver 3, but all in a general fashion, this is the game that I just can't have fun with, and I would like for you to subscribe because that would be a little glimmer of light in this dark moment of capturing footage for this stupid game that I hate. I'm glad it's done. It's over. I don't have to do it again. It's done recording. Hit that button.